I learned Braille in the 4th grade from my visual impairment teacher, who her job is basically to work with all the blind and visually impaired students in the district to teach them the skills that they need to know to help them adjust to their blindness.
Melissa, where'd you learn Braille?
I am learning Braille.
Okay.
I was originally a print user, a large print user, but I am in the process of learning Braille.
James, where did you learn Braille?
I learned Braille. I started way back when I was like 2. And I started, I had a vision teacher, is what I called her.
Mm-hmm.
And she would spend about an hour a day, and we would go over, first we started writing Braille, and then, as I progressed with that, of course, reading Braille was involved in that as well.
Sam, where'd you learn Braille?
Actually, it was a lot like James too, where it was really early on. I would say as early probably as 2 or 3 with learning about tactile sensation. And then later on in kindergarten, I would go off for about an hour, a little over probably an hour in the mornings before the actual kindergarten, and learn the Braille. First it was writing in like individual letters. I was actually much further along in Braille than I was in print at the time. Then I switched to large print for quite a while, and then now, with where I am right now, I'm learning Braille again.
What are some of the challenges you had in learning Braille? We'll start with James.
Some of the challenges I had were just getting used to writing it and getting used to using the Perkins Brailler, which is loud and sort of bulky and real clanky and just obnoxious. Just getting used to that and using that in the classroom. But in terms of reading, I never really had a challenge because my sense of touch, I'm so used to using it, I'm so in tune with it, I guess, that I never had the tactile issues that other people might have.
Did you have any challenges, Lauren?
The only challenge I faced when I was learning Braille was the fact that it was a mental barrier against it. I just didn't think I was ever going to need it. It was kind of the whole adjusting to, you're going to use this eventually, so I was like, fine, I'll learn it. But I didn't enjoy it. It took many years before I actually saw the use that I was going to get out of it, to actually learn it and do it well.
Sam, what kind of challenges are you ran into?
Well, I really fought it tooth and nail, I think, when I was little. I have a lot of really bad memories of homework nights, trying to learn to read and stuff. But after a while, a lot of the challenges I faced were, in terms of, at least right now, are the fact that I'm left-handed, and Braille, the way it's read, is you lead with your right finger, or right hand, and then there's the left hand. And it's hard to do a lot of the stuff that they usually expect you to do when you are predominantly left-handed. So there we go.
Well, so you're just learning it. Are you feeling any challenges now in learning it?
Yeah, I am.
Such as?
I was, raised a print user, so I've always relied on large print and reading by sight, and then Braille was never an option for me when I was younger, and to learn it now it's a bit more difficult.
Well, you really started to learn it in 4th grade. Why did you wait until 4th grade?
The teacher that I had, she actually determined when I was going to start to learn to use it. I actually was not receiving, I didn't start to receive assistive services for my visual impairment until about 1st grade, because that's when it started up, and they first started me with learning how to keyboard. And then in 4th grade, as they saw that my vision was going to continue to progress to get worse, they thought it was best that I start learning Braille. So I started just like any other 1st grader, kindergartner, and learned to read and write with print, just how everyone else did. And then I started learning Braille once my vision continued to get worse.
So if you look at today, where do you most use Braille? I'm going to start with James.
What do I most use Braille? It depends because well, let me give a real life scenario. I'm about to take a math placement exam, and that is going to be in Braille. So I use it mainly for math, and sometimes I'll use it for tests, like if I want to have a backup copy or whatever.
Lauren, what do you mostly use Braille?
I use Braille mostly recreationally. Most of my schoolwork and textbooks are done digitally because that's time-wise and speed-wise, it's more efficient. But like I have a Braille Bible at home, and that's where I use my Braille most often. Is just reading books on the side for fun.
Sam, what about you?
Well, I'm still in the process of making Braille practical for me. My reading speed is abysmal at the moment. Based on what I've been done so far, my main areas are more. I'm learning Spanish. I'm a Spanish major here, and my assumption is that eventually, once my reading speed gets up, that's mainly where I'll use it, is reading in Spanish. Because when you learn a foreign language, it's important to know how the orthography and stuff, the printing, how that works. It's somewhat different than, say, listening to it. It's a completely different skill. I guess you use different areas of your brain. But when it comes to reading books, I actually just I get digital books. And that was the same when I was in print as well. When I would read print, even though I could read print, almost always, if I had a choice, I would get the audiobook.
Melissa, where do you see yourself using Braille as a children?
Well, I'm still in the process of learning it, but once I increase, my knowledge of the different contractions and my reading speed, I'm hoping to use it, as a backup method to decrease eye fatigue.